And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Monday, March 6th. I am Josh Engleman, here to break down a 6-game NBA slate for all of you. I hope you had a good weekend. Before we get anything started, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Good morning, folks. Good morning. 8-game. You are not losing your mind. I was in the process of scheduling the tweet, and I accidentally just clicked tweet instead of schedule. So I had to quickly delete it. So you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Good morning, folks. It is going to be a day. It's going to be a long one. But we're here, breaking it all down. Yesterday stunk. That double OT game cost me on prize picks. I tried late swapping to quickly. I could only get to like 26%. I would have had like 80 if I had a little bit more time there. But, you know, so would everybody else. Didn't work out for me yesterday. So back at it again today. That's all we can do. Wife is out of town. She flew out earlier this morning up to Boston for the day. I will be flying to Pennsylvania tomorrow. So I'm going to be up in PA. From Tuesday until Saturday. So process shows from the childhood bedroom Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That should be fun. Yeah, 56 minutes for quickly. Ridiculous. I lost out on Jason Tatum under 10 rebounds because of that. I lost out on Julius Randle as well. Would have had a 5 out of 5 on prize picks if that game didn't go to OT. And then another OT. Weird game, weird slate, weird everything. I mean, Tyus Jones smashed. I hope, you know, like you had to have him. Everybody knew it, but certainly went above and beyond. I just want coffee at this point. My wife had to get up at 20 after 4 to get ready for the airport. Her flight was at 6 a.m. So I have been up even earlier than I normally am. And that sucks because I'm tired. I'm tired. Larry, it's not great, if we're being honest. You know, it's all the same as it usually is. Not good. We'll see what's going to actually go down for him on Wednesday. But my expectation is that he's not going to treat anything at this point, and I don't really blame him for it, but we'll know a little bit more. But everything crappy is back. And Yeah, no real surprise. He's been he got diagnosed 6 years ago, I think. Now this will be round 3, so it is what it is. It's life. Everybody's got it. We'll deal with it however it pops up. But yeah, I'm going to be up there from Tuesday until Saturday. So we have one issue for today's slate. I'm going to have to yell at Mr. Chris Karen, who is surely asleep at this point. I don't have the overlay that puts, like, when I do that, we're going to be in trouble. I don't have the one that leaves that gap. So I need you guys to let me know something. We're going to test something out quickly. Is that, for those of you that actually do pay attention to everything that's on the screen, is the size of everything too small right now? It's hard for me to know. It seems like it would be okay. I could probably bump it up like a little bit for today and be okay. But can you guys see that, or do you need me to make things a little bit bigger? Because if I can do it like this, then we're going to be okay. A bit small. Like, I can get the minutes table another notch, which I think will help. Okay. I mean, this is just going to be for today. I'll have the other overlay made for tomorrow. Because if you see at the top of the screen, BetMGM, no longer the sponsor of this program. We are sponsored by our NBA lineup generator, which we will absolutely talk about as we work our way through. Anthony, sorry to hear about that. Yeah, it's been hasn't been the best year and a half for me in that regard, but we'll figure it all out. But the old man's been through a lot. I don't blame him if he doesn't want to do any treatments. Dude's been a pincushion for 30 years. But anyway, yeah, I don't have another view. If I go to that one, then I'm just going to be behind that bar the entire time. And this is the only other, like, main way to do this. Or I go the full bore, but I'm not on the screen at all. So I think this one's just going to have to be what we do for this one. Because obviously that one's not going to make a difference. So let's just keep it here. But first, got to hit you guys with the cheers. This coffee got made even earlier than it normally does. It's been Steven, thank you. Everybody, thank you. Everybody in chat, appreciate you guys a lot. I did not get a lot of sleep for these. Christopher, he's here. You got here. You want a little extra detail for my life? My dad has had that medical card for a bit now. Has not needed that in his life. He is an avid user, but his nickname, my dad's nickname my entire life, the only thing that I've ever heard anybody call him, is Smokey. He earned that one in high school and has kept it for 50 years. So yeah, the medical card, he's long past thinking that that's an interesting thing. So this coffee's been made for a very long time. I was up till 2 a.m. Saturday night watching the UFC. I was up very late last night, but not as late as I should have been, watching the AEW wrestling pay-per-view. I ended up falling asleep before the main event. But these past 2 nights, I have not gotten the sleep that I would have liked to get. So at this point, I need coffee, and we need to start this show. So cheers to you guys. Rise and grind. Let's have a good one. Why does that taste so not good? I don't know. It'll be fine. But that's not as good as I wanted it to be. That was a bit of a letdown. Okay. Yeah, Larry, I was struggling. I was fading during the tag match, and I realized that I wasn't going to make it. All right, let's get into this bad boy then. First game up, Boston Celtics. This is kind of a pain in the ass. Boston Celtics, 4-point dogs in Cleveland, 217 total. The only saving grace here is that this isn't a good game environment, but Boston obviously coming off of the double OT game yesterday. No idea who's going to actually play. We know Time Lord's out. We didn't see Malcolm Brogdon for the past 2 games. I assume we're not getting Al Horford, but at the same time, Al Horford could play. I just assume that he's not. So if we take Horford out, that's when we're going to have to start to build this out. Now, if somebody else ends up being in today, we'll see. But we're going to need the news on this one bigly. So we're going to go 18 minutes to Blake Griffin. We're going to go 18 minutes to Mike Muscala. We're going to get 24 out of Grant Williams at a minimum. And then, we have to assume that Malcolm Brogdon is going to play his pretty standard 25 minutes. It leaves me 2 spots. Now, they don't really have bodies. They only have 10 guys, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so they have 11, but Cornette is one of them, which is sort of makes it 10. I mean, I assume that Horford isn't playing because he doesn't play back-to-backs. That piece is easy to me, I think. I assume we're going to have to get pretty big minutes out of Derek White. If I take Derek White up to 28, that leaves me 23 minutes for Hauser. I don't want to go to 23 on Hauser, but I don't think I have another person I can give minutes to. I mean, I guess it's going to have to be Robert, or I can go to Grant Williams for a little bit more. If I go to 14 there, that's 21 to Hauser. 36 for Tatum, 35 for Jaylen Brown. I mean, in theory, I could go to 37 and 36 on those 2 guys. I guess Jaylen Brown's been... Yeah. I'm going to give Jaylen Brown 1 more minute. That takes me to Hauser in 20. That's probably enough. Rates I don't have to change right now. We just kind of have to wait it out on Boston. And the good news is no one's going to look good here. It's Boston-Cleveland. This is a defensive matchup. It's just not that kind of game. We've got 3 other games that have 230 totals. This one's off that, but this is under 220. So not a lot to write home about here. Let's check out Cleveland, which should be the same. Q tag on Donovan Mitchell. That will actually matter quite a bit here. That can make Darius Garland look good. Otherwise, everybody's available. So I don't think that I have much that I want to change here. I mean, 40-1 feels like a little bit of value, but at the same time, I don't think the Cavs have any real chance to get there. They're never in a situation where they're going to have the best player in a series. I don't think that can be Donovan Mitchell. And that 5th spot is just they're just not deep enough. They're too early. They're really good. They're perfectly set up to be a good regular season team. Anytime that you can anchor yourself on a really good D and be between Allen and Mobley, it's just going to be fine. I think they're a much better regular season team than they are a playoff team so far. Well, like, if the Lakers make the playoffs, I think the Lakers have a better chance to win the title than the Cavs. The problem for the Lakers is making the playoffs. But when push comes to shove, when you can just play LeBron James and AD 40 minutes a night, like, there's nothing for Cleveland to consolidate really at this point. They just don't have those kind of bodies. But I do agree that like 40-1 seems like a little lofty. You know, all it takes is like you're on the side of the bracket and you get to face, you know, like you're the 4 and you're supposed to face the Bucks in round 2 and Giannis gets hurt. And then on the opposite side, like, I don't know, somebody upsets Boston and like you just have a different path. But I don't think Cleveland can go, like, they need a lot of help to do it. Because they can't beat Boston in the playoffs without injuries. They can't beat Milwaukee in the playoffs without injuries. Like, those two things just can't happen. I'd be very surprised if they could beat Philly in the playoffs without any injuries. Great future, though. I mean, if they can figure out the bench, they're in good shape. Not okay. Let's get Cleveland out of the way here. 35 for Garland, 35 for Mitchell, 35 for Mobley, 33 for Jared Allen, 24 for LeVert. Everything else doesn't matter. Whether it's Dean Wade, Chetty, Danny Green, none of it matters. So game 1. 7K Jared Allen, probably your best option if you need anything. No priorities here from Cleveland. If you want to roster Garland or Mitchell or Mobley, go ahead. One of those 4 guys should have a decent game. Not much else that you could really look at. And then on Boston, equally as ugly. And we knew what we were going to see here. Do you want to play Brown or Tatum? Go ahead. Marcus Smart, if he's in 33 minutes, looks good. Can we get value in this one? We can. But we're not going to know that for a while. We need to get an injury report. So for now, we wait. Game 1 in the books, though. Now we go to Philly. 7-point favorites in Indiana, 231 total. At least it happened early. At least it happened early. At least I didn't have to make a lot of changes to those rotations either. That was fun, right? That was a good time. Now my mouse is being weird. It's gonna be one of those days, isn't it? All right, enable. Let's save. Now, let's try this again. At least we didn't have to make any changes. So now we go to Philly. Let me make sure that Boston was updated there too. Yeah, when I tried to late swap the quickly last night, the best that I can get to was like 30%. But when I ran my dummy crunch of what it would have been like 80. It was such a shame. All right, there we go. Man, that coffee just tastes like shit today. All right, so we go to Philly. Try this again without crashing the damn sheet. Q-tag on Tobias Harris. Q-tag on PJ Tucker. We saw Harris leave early on Saturday. They started that second half with Melton. So they went triple small. Guess we got to assume everybody's in, however. So we got 38 minutes for Harden. Seems about right to me. Got 31 to Maxey. Those minutes can go up. I'm actually going to Now that Maxi's back in that starting lineup, let's get him up to 34. Jake Milton gets 8. We got 36 for Embiid, 29 for Tucker. Probably too high. 10 for Reed, 34 for Tobias Harris. Yeah, all this looks fine to me. Yeah, I don't really see any changes that I need to make other than maybe taking a couple minutes off of. We'll give another minute to Melton. I mean, obviously the Harris injury potential and the Tucker potential are massive. It just makes someone like DeAnthony Melton so much better if one or both of those guys are out. One of Jalen McDaniels and George Niang could be interesting if they both go. But for now, we kind of know what we're going to get out of Philly. And I assume Embiid, Maxey, Harden all look really good here. Let's look at Indy. Pacers. Q-tag on Nesmith. Otherwise, everybody else is in. Last time I projected the Pacers was Thursday, which meant that there was no Halliburton. So I'm actually going to reproject this entire team. So we'll get Halliburton in for 34 minutes. Connell gets those backup run. We'll get Buddy Hield in for 30. We'll get Miles Turner in for 31. Let's see. Now it's Isaiah Jackson, no longer Jalen Smith. So we'll give Isaiah Jackson those 17 minutes. Who the hell knows? Can't trust anything for the Pacers. Assuming Nesmith is playing, we'll get him his 20 minutes. O'Shea Brissett played with Nesmith out. I'm assuming that doesn't happen for today. So we'll get Jordan Nwora in for... We'll go 21 and 21 to Nesmith and Nwora. Don't know what to do with Chris Duarte just yet. Let's say he plays 20 as well. And then we get Mathurin in for 27. Nemhard in for 23. And then those extra 2 minutes can go to McConnell. Not bad. Pretty easy. Definitely need rates. Halliburton, oddly enough, very important to the rates of the rest of the team. So let's grab Indy rates. And we'll say when, let's see. Let's say on, we'll go Turner, Halliburton, Mathurin, Hield. Is that everybody? Are those the four guys that matter? Mathurin, Hield, Turner. Yeah, I guess they are. And we'll say anytime there are 3 of those 4 guys or more. And that's a gigantic sample. Holy hell. Okay. Well, that's easy enough. Mathurin, usage rate, 790 minutes, 21.5% usage rate when he's sharing the floor with everybody else. Buddy Hield is at 21. Nothing changes there. Miles Turner is at 22 almost, so just himself. And then Halliburton is at 23. Man, I can't get over how unappealing that's a sentence for you guys. That's how tired I am today. Unappealingly unappealing. That came out of my mouth. My brain is just not working. Man, Halliburton is just, he's so good. He's so good. What a great trade for them. I guess I don't have any other rates to change. So Isaiah Jackson as the backup center is going to be like a potential value play to get to today. Like that is going to be a thing. Nothing else is a priority. I wouldn't say that like if you want to go to Halliburton or Turner or Heel, they're all fine, but nobody's jumping out. But Isaiah Jackson is a really good point per dollar play today. Flat min. So I'm sure he's not going to start at center. We should see a lot of good plays here. Yeah, there it is. So $5,500 maxi looks great. I think you can make a real case that Tobias Harris looks great if he's in. 11-3 for Embiid. I'm in. I think Harden's totally fine. Melton could be fine, but that price is up to $4,500 now. But, you know, if you get Harris out and Tucker out, it'll be amazing. But really, really, really difficult to not want to go to Tyrese Maxey. Philly in general. That Harris Q tag matters, though. Yeah, the Ja stuff is crazy. I said it yesterday on the strategy show. I'll say it again here. There's got to be so much more that Memphis knows than just like, oh, he had a gun in an Instagram video. Like they have to have more details than that. They just know more truth. There's probably a couple things that like the public doesn't know. All right, we're going to Portland now. Blazers 6-point favorites in Detroit, 232 total. Portland on the back-to-back. I had a bunch of Dame yesterday. That didn't seem to matter. But as we look at Portland, not too much that we could really read into here. Nas Little finally played a little bit more than I had been expecting, so that's good. I don't know why he hadn't been. Yeah, it's the Kings stepped in shit and like, look, good for them. You know, they turned themselves into a playoff team for the first time in 20 years, but they didn't do it the right way, man. When you get a guy like Halliburton, man, you hold on to that shit. Like the value is so insane. All right, Eubanks, Trendon Watford actually did split every minute yesterday. They had been not sort of doing that. So I'm going to get Eubanks up to 25. We got Watford at 23. I don't want to go any higher there. 37 for Dame, 31 for Reddish, 32 for Thibault. All that looks fine. 36 for Jeremy Grant. I guess I should probably go to 37 on Grant. I mean, Portland's going to look like Dame's going to be my pay-up option today, I would imagine. I don't know how it's anybody else. He's getting to take on Detroit in Detroit, so it should be like a competitive matchup. But we kind of know what Portland is doing at this point. Now, on the Detroit side, I assume they're a pain in the ass. I don't know who's healthy. The whole team stinks. Okay, so Killian Hayes is questionable. James Wiseman is questionable. Rodney Magruder is questionable. No Boyan, no Beef Stew, no Jalen Duren. This is just, I hate this team so much. I don't know what a Jared Rhoden is. Oh, they got Omayuri too. I got to add him, I guess. I might have to add more than one guy here for OKC. We might have to do that. Or not. I don't know why I said OKC, for Detroit, rather. Oh, I know why I said OKC. All right. Looks like I can just naturally add him at least. Omori. I spelled that incorrectly? O-M-O-R. Oh, yeah, not even close. O-M-O-R-U-Y-I. Bingo. Got him. Okay, let's project this Detroit team out. And again, there's a lot of information that we need to know here, because if Hayes ends up out, that's massive. I think we're going to go like 28 minutes to Hayes. We're going to go 30 to Jaden Ivey. I guess we're going to get like Livers, question mark. I don't know. I guess, oh my God, this is terrible. Livers, Bagley, Wiseman. Is that what we're going to get here? Probably. Get Livers in for, let's say 28. We're going to say Bagley goes in for 28. We're going to say that Wiseman goes in for 28. I mean, this team, they don't have a backup center. How does a team with 5 centers have 2 of them? Huh. I mean, this whole team is just guards. It's guards on top of guards on top of guards. So I guess we're going to get something like, how do you stagger Bagley and Wiseman that whole time? They basically just like don't. They're not. This is hard. Projecting the Pistons is really hard today. Corey Joseph seems to be playing like 24 minutes a night. Rodney Magruder seems to play like 16. RJ Hampton seems to play like 16. There's 9 right there. And that leaves me, I just got to get Hamidou Diallo for the final 22. But I think Diallo is going to play more than that. So if we take Diallo to 26, we can take that playing time away from, I'm just going to take it away from Magruder. We'll go 14 and 14. Maybe, guys. Maybe. Might be over projecting Isaiah Livers here. We'll take him down to 26. Just feel a little bit better there. Tough team. Tough team to project here. And look, if we get Hayes out and Wiseman out and Magruder out, that's a big problem. Hayes has a left hand, so he is a lefty. Left knee soreness on Wiseman, ankle sprain on Rodney Magruder. Weird team today. Really weird team. We got to pull rates because they're just a completely different team when Bojan's not around. Like, all the usage goes up considerably. So if we just say Bojan off, Cade Cunningham off, and Sadiq Bey off, that's sort of where we need to be. Samples are still there to a degree. Hamidou Diallo has played 451 minutes without those 3 guys. He has a 23.5% usage rate. Jaden Ivey played 178 minutes without those guys. 28% usage rate. James Wiseman is already at 90 minutes. He's at 20, so he's just himself. Killian Hayes, 245 minutes, 22% usage rate. And then Bagley has played 140 minutes, 24.5% usage rate. See how well that plays. Assist rate should matter. We do see Jaden Ivey get a little bit of a bump. Killian Hayes also gets a little bit of a bump. I don't really think we have any other changes to make there. Rebounding probably doesn't matter either. Bagley's just going to get rebounds. I think he just has to. Similar story for Wiseman. I guess that's the Pistons, who also are going to look good. Yeah, look at this. All right, so assuming everybody with a Q tag is in for the Pistons, $5,500 Marvin Bagley looks amazing. I would say that he's the best play that we've looked at so far. Just 28 minutes, usage bump. Love Bagley. I like Hamidou Diallo more than I should. That's rarely fun. Ivy, Wiseman, Hayes. I mean, this is the best team we've looked at so far, and it's not close. The Pistons are the priority. Assuming the starting lineup is Hayes, Ivy, question mark, Wiseman, Bagley, you're playing all four of those guys, and then I think Diallo looks the best at 4,900. Shooting guard, small forward. Guys, the Pistons aren't tanking. Can we do that quick? Do I need to go through this? No one's really tanking. But let's just have this conversation so we can have it. Just so we don't have to do this every day for the rest of the year. It doesn't matter, really, whether the Pistons are the worst record, the second worst record, the third worst record. All three of those teams get the exact same ping pong balls. They are 3 losses ahead of Charlotte. They're 11 losses ahead of Orlando. If Charlotte wants to tank and get into the bottom 3, maybe. But the worst 4 teams in the league are set in stone already. No one can run them down. Nothing can change here. So there's no real reason. There's no tank incentive. There's no tank to the bottom. They're already there. It's already been established. There's no, unless you just simply don't want guys to get hurt, they don't have any, which is like a thing. They don't have to like try to be any worse. They can just continue to develop because nothing matters. Detroit can't fall, like maybe they can fall to 4th with like terrible luck, but even then, they're all still very ahead of Charlotte. Okay. Ultimately, Pistons look great. Like they don't have to take any chances with injuries, but they're not like they don't have to do any dumb shit. They're already there. Look at Portland. Dame, Grant, Thibault, Reddish, Eubanks, Watford. I mean, this game is unquestionably the top game that you can get to, unless Pelicans Kings has like some crazy injury news. You're playing a ton of Portland and Detroit. A ton. Even Nas Little's like sneaky at 3,300. You got to play all of this game. All of it. Now, before we go any further, I should probably do this. We got to talk about it quick. Let me pull it up. You see if it's got data. All right, it does. So, lineup generator, folks. You see it on the top of the screen. I want to make sure I talk about it. The deal is this. You can get our new NBA lineup generator for 50% off the first week. It's going to be less than $5 for you guys to check this out. And if you're playing 1 lineup or 2 lineups or 3, upwards of 20, this is the tool that you want to check out. I think it's going to help you out pretty dramatically. We generate all the lineups on the back end, and then we get rid of everything that sucks and make it so that you can check it out. So I have it pulled up here right now. This is going to be last night's data, but the principles will all stay the same. If you're coming in here to try to make a DraftKings lineup, I'm going to come here. I'm going to click tournament. Let's say I'm trying to put it in the $15. I'm going to make a balanced lineup. You can lock a player if you want. So like if I wanted to lock Tyus Jones, I could just click Tyus Jones's name. that's going to lock Tyus Jones and bring you just Tyus Jones lineups. I'm okay with locking Tyus Jones. I did have him in everything last night, and you should. I think this will generate lineups still. I'm not entirely sure, so maybe this is going to be a bad example. I'm trying to show you guys on data that exists from last night. We might actually just scrap all of those lineups in the middle of the night, which is not what happens. So perfect. So this is what you'll see. You can very easily do this on mobile as well. We've got Quickly, Clarkson, Tatum, Randall, Nick Claxton, Tyus Jones, Josh Hart, Mo Wagner. If you like that lineup, you can see it's very optimal, pretty chalky. I don't love it, so I'm going to click discard. Immediately, you have another lineup that you can get to. If that's one you like, you just click save, discard, whatever you want to do. We're showing salary, projected lineups, projected ownership. If you said you didn't really want Dame or you don't really want Keldon Johnson, you can click this button here, get off of Keldon Johnson, pop in a different player if that's more interesting to you guys. Oh, Larry, it goes. It goes. And it'll normally run a little bit more promptly than this. So let's just take Keldon Johnson out for now, and I'm just going to pop Cam Reddish in. That's all you got to do just to make that change. You can click save. I'm just going to save a couple of them here. I'm going to save all the way up to 20 just to show you guys the screen. So now you get all of this list of lineups. You could export that to CSV. You get a giant list of all of your exposures as well. You know, you can still drill into some of these lineups. Very, very quick way for you to get an individual lineup. And again, there's a link in the description of this video. It's going to be 50% off. Your first week of this will only cost you like $4.50. Great deal, guys. Come check it out. Game 4. Atlanta Hawks, 3-point dogs in Miami, 227 total. For the Hawks, everybody's available. So we're starting to see what the rotation is going to look like here. We're going to go 26-22 on Capella Okongwu. We got 35 minutes for DeJounte Murray. We got 35 minutes for Trae Young, which I technically should probably be lower. But let's take Trae Young down to 34. DeJounte stays at 35. Bogdan Bogdanovic can stay at 25. AJ Griffin may be out of the rotation in lieu of Jalen Johnson. We got John Collins playing very minimal minutes now. We got 30 in for DeAndre Hunter, 26 for Sadiq Bey. You can make a case that Bey should have more than 26. Give him 27. Very different Atlanta team right now. Yeah, I don't think John Collins is going to be on this team when we start next season. That's for sure. Rates all stay the same for Atlanta. It's just a slightly different rotation. Then we go to Miami. I'm sure Miami has a bunch of garbage. Kevin Love, probable. No Kyle Lowry, no Jovic. So full strength Miami, I guess, to a degree. I mean, we haven't had Lowry for so long. 30 minutes for Gabe Vincent. 20 for Oladipo. 35 for Hero. 34 for Jimmy. 14 for Cody Zeller at the backup spot. 33 for Jimmy. I meant 34 for Bam. Caleb Martin in for 25. Strus in for 24. We'll take Strus down a notch. We'll bump Martin up a notch. Not much that we really need to change here for Miami. So for the Heat, $8,200 Bam is that. I mean, that's a really nice price tag for him. I like this spot for Bam. He is the best piece of Miami, although it is a center, so we know how that sort of works. Hero is your second best option at $7,300. Jimmy Butler is probably a little too expensive, but you can play him. Vincent and Love are worth a dice roll. Not a lot here to write home for Miami. Bam is the guy that stands out. For Atlanta, there's no priorities. Play the guys that play. I know that sounds dumb, but like if you want to play Murray, play Murray. If you want to play Trae, play Trae. No priorities, though, for Atlanta. Not a great game. In comparison to Portland, Detroit, Atlanta and Miami is just on a different level. Now for Toronto, they are 7-point dogs in Denver, 227 total. Toronto seems to have reestablished their rotation. Everybody that's normally in is in. So we've got 36 minutes for Van Vliet. That's not going to work. We're going to take him up to 30. I'm going to say it's competitive, so 38. We got 28 for Gary Trent. We got 34 for OG Anunoby. That's got to go up to 35. We got 36 for Siakam. That works. 36 for Barnes. Got 35. I got 16 for Boucher. I got 28 for Pirtle. That seems fine. 16 for Achua. 16 for Boucher. I got 10 in for Thad Young. Yeah, we'll make it 5 and 5 for him and Will Barton. Actually, we'll make it 4 and 4. None of those guys matter. You know who we can actually play here for Toronto. And I assume nothing looks good. Rarely see Denver matchups look good. And as we look at the Nuggets, Chanchar questionable. Everybody else available. Still no Zeke Naji, but he's out for a while. 34 minutes for Murray. 34 minutes for Jokic. 32 for KCP. 29 for Michael Porter Jr. 30 for Aaron Gordon. We'll go 29 for Aaron Gordon. Got 26 for Bruce Brown. 19 for Chanchar if he plays. Actually works for me. Jeff Green plays when Chanchar doesn't. We got 20 minutes in for Reggie Jackson. That's fine. Christian Brown just gets 3 spillover. Easy to project the Nugs. All right. So for the Nuggets, $3,900 Bruce Brown off the bench, shooting guard, small forward eligible. Kind of like it. Kind of like it. Going to take a minute away from him so he doesn't show up too much. But Bruce Brown, sneaky value option. KCP, sneaky value option. Murray and Jokic are fine. They don't look as good as Embiid and Harden, so there's that. Gordon and Porter are both worth coin flips. They're both priced in the mid-tier. Just a difficult team to prioritize. And then, who the fuck did they play? Denver, Atlanta? Toronto, yeah, equally as uninteresting. Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, both okay options. You get those MPEs that are helpful. 8,500 for Van Vliet's fine. Siakam down to 9K is wild, but just has not been playing well. Actually, I guess he has been. 1.2 fantasy points per minute. I know that was down for a bit. No priorities in this game, just a lot of lineup filler. That makes it really hard. When we close it out, 170 people here, by the way. Hit that like button if you haven't done it already. New Orleans Pelicans, 5.5-point dogs in Sacramento, 239 total. Let's go ahead and save this workbook once again. There we go. Good shit. The Pels, we have no Jay Rich out for personal reasons. No Zion, no Alvarado, no Nance. Q tag on Joval. Joval has missed the previous 2 games, so he last played last Monday. I think we have to assume that Joval's playing if he's got a Q tag, which means we also have to scratch this entire rotation. This will be important if it falls apart. We're going 36 minutes to CJ McCollum. We're also going to get 36 minutes in there for Brandon Ingram. We're going to get Joval in for 27. I'm going to say that we get Jackson Hayes as the straight backup center. That's what we got the last time that Joval played, so I don't really see a way around it. I'm guessing we get Trey Murphy here in the starting lineup playing 32 minutes. And then we're going to get Herb Jones probably playing about 30. Yeah, 32 32. Kira Lewis gets the backup point guard run. That piece is easy. I'm going to say Dyson Daniels gets the backup run at the 2. That leaves me 28 minutes for Najee Marshall for the most part. Get Najee Marshall in for 24 or spillover minutes that I will give to Willie Hernangomez because it doesn't matter. Now, rates, I guess I mean, they do have to change at least a little bit, so might as well grab them. We got to keep an eye on this one, too. Hopefully, we get Joval just out early or in early, but late night hammer news for Joval could create some value. All right, so we're going to say no Zion, obviously. And I'm going to say no Jose Alvarado as well. And we're going to say that CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram both played in the game. All right, so 467 minutes for Ingram in that scenario, 31.5% usage rate. CJ has a 26% usage rate in that time. Herb Jones is at around 14. Joval is at 21. Najee Marshall is at 16. And then Trey Murphy is at 15.5. On the Sacramento side, final team, closing it all out. Q-tag on De'Aaron Fox. Q-tag on Rashawn Holmes as well, not that that matters. This is going to be your standard issue rotation, I believe. I got Monk in for 22 minutes. I got Kevin Huerter in for 27 minutes. All that seems fine to me. Keegan Murray in for 30. Harry B in for 33. Terrence Davis. Trey Lyles. Metu. No changes here. We know the Kings. And we know the Kings. Sabonis, Barnes, Murray, all look very similar. No major priorities, but you're going to everybody. Fox, Herter, Monk, all very viable. But no one individual play stands out for Sacramento. On the Pels, I think Trey Murphy for 4,400 stands out, especially shooting guard, small forward. Herb Jones, power forward only, which couldn't be more incorrect. Looks solid. I like Ingram more than I like CJ. Just a better per minute guy. You can take a shot at Joval. If Joval ends up out, Jackson Hayes for 3,800 will at least be a little interesting. Willie Hernangomez is 4,600. He will absolutely still be interesting. But we're going to need that news. Let's run some crunches. 54 minutes we got through this slate. That's really not too shabby. I think I moved pretty well here, especially for being as tired as I am. It's going to be a long, long day, though. So, let's run these crunches. We'll start it off. FanDuel Optimals. Don't have a great feel for this either, other than we're going to see a lot of that Pistons game. All right, FanDuel Optimals. 309.27. It's the optimal by 0.32. Dame, Corey Joseph, Jaden Ivey, Hamidou Diallo, Herb Jones, Thibault, Bagley, Eubanks, Joel Embiid. Not surprised by anything there. Heavy Portland-Detroit stack. Now we'll go power rankings on FanDuel. Definitely don't have a great feel of who's going to show up at the top. At least not on FanDuel. Ooh, man, it's really flat at the top. There's just a lot of the same play. Thibault, Bagley. It's one of those two guys, which is so gross. Oh my God. What a disaster. There it is. Marvin Bagley 1, Thibault 2, Tobias Harris 3. Keep an eye there. Trey Murphy 4, Drew Eubanks 5, Dame, Van Vliet, Jeremy Grant, Hamidou Diallo, DeAnthony Melton. Round out the rest of it. Christopher hits us with the super chat. Just says GOAT. I'm gonna assume you mean me, and I agree. I am the GOAT. Appreciate you, man. Let's close this out with DK. Alrighty, DraftKings. Optimal lineup. 284.88. This is the optimal lineup by 0.23. That's going to be Tyrese Maxey, Jaden Ivey, Cam Reddish, Marvin Bagley, Drew Eubanks, Damian Lillard, Hamidou Diallo, Bam Adebayo. So that's a 6-man Portland-Detroit stack with Maxey and Bam. You can make a couple bigger swaps. You get off a Dame, you end up getting to Embiid in the second one, which I think is interesting. Let's find out where the power rankings lie. And then we're done. Looking like it's going to be Marvin Bagley at the top of the list. 5,500 playing 28 minutes against Portland makes some sense to me. So it's going to be Bagley at the top. Probably Tyrese Maxey, but maybe Cam Reddish. Down the stretch they come. Maxey's going to hold him off here. Bagley, Maxey, Reddish, Murphy, and Dame Lillard, followed by Tyler Hero, Hamidou Diallo, Killian Hayes, Bam Adebayo, and Brandon Ingram. That's a slate, folks. That's a slate. Portland, Detroit. That is the game that matters most. That is incredibly gross. But we're done here, folks. That's it. That's the end of this one. 6 games up, 6 games down. You'll get me on... Well, I'll have my prize picks video, my No House Advantage video, contenders videos coming out shortly. I'm on the strategy show today with Adam, and then I'm not on anything tonight. Only strategy show for me this week is going to be for today. I'll be on the Deeper Dive Wednesday night and Thursday night. But for now, that's it, folks. Good luck to everybody. Enjoy your slate. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done it yet. I appreciate having you guys. Back again tomorrow. Same drill as usual. How many games we got for tomorrow? What's the rest of this week look like? Let's do that quickly before we bounce. So tomorrow we have an 8-game slate. Wednesday we've got 7. Thursday we've got 6. Friday we've got 6. Fantastic week. Oh, by the S&P, I appreciate that. I'm flying, not driving. Yay. So it's going to be a much easier time for me. That's it, everybody. Have some fun today. Good luck. This was The Process.